And there we go. Totally worth $3.25. That thing is huge. Here's me by comparison. Okay, as you just saw, I'm going to be doing this print 24 by 24 as just a fun experiment for my wife's birthday. It's not really for her. It's for my 5-year-old who printed a similar picture of his cousin and put on his wall. And so we made some images in generative AI on Photoshop to try that out, and I wanted to see what they look like nice and printed big. So today I want you to go to angelman.org and learn a little bit about Angelman syndrome and how it affects people worldwide. And that's your assignment for today. And enjoy my printing adventure. So I have a couple of generative fill items that it did. This love thing I drew myself. We have the scepter, and you can see it kind of changed her shoulder just a little bit. When you select things, you select an area to fill, and then the generative fill, it's kind of like content aware fill where it actually replaces the entire selection. I wrote a scepter for a queen, so if I wanted to generate a new scepter, I could just click on that probably, and I create a new one. I don't want to, so I'm going to click on this next thing. Hopefully it didn't start generating. Generated this crown. You can see how it kind of changes her head. Now that I'm looking, there's like some weird objects in there. That's not her hair. And we got this red firework. We got this pink firework, which when I added it, wow, look, it actually changed that rooftop from having a little flag to not having that anymore. The background used to be, I'll get rid of. Background used to be plain, and then I added a background by saying a castle. And when I click on this, look, it changes. And I also added a Gaussian blur to make it look a little closer to when I took this picture. It was it blurred her shoulder and front shoulder, and so I wanted to have the background a little blurry. Well, it paused the printing and said that there was no paper. And I went to the job management, looked at held jobs, then said unpause the job. Still showed the premium mat was not loaded, even though I had an estimate on how much was left. And then it just started printing anyway. I don't know what exactly was it going to do with that. But so in this particular print, I'm printing a picture of Jen. I used Photoshop's generative AI. I did a terrible job masking one of the spots, but I didn't really care that much. I want to print something for fun, and I need to get this out. So I'm printing a picture of Jen plus a bunch of generative AI from Photoshop's new beta generative fill. And I want to see how it looks nice and big, mostly just for the fun of it. There's not anything that I'm trying to frame or anything. This is just a waste some money, have fun. So I added some, I changed the background to a castle. I blurred it. Then I added some pictures of fireworks. And then I gave Jen a crown and a scepter.
and I'm printing. The paper is 24 by 24. The image itself is 23 by 23. And I'm just curious how real this stuff will look, or how cheesy. Since Sam did a heart in green around Penny, I decided to add a heart around Jen in red. Let's look up close. The fireworks not bad. That one kind of got a blurred effect a little bit from. Usually depends on the exposure how the fireworks turn out. This one's a little more crisp. And then there's this crown that got around her head, and the ridiculous heart that I put. And this is going to be fun. She has no idea that I made this. I think she might have seen that I was playing around with generative fill, but she had no idea I'm printing this. I think Sam's going to think this is so hilarious. You can see how I did a not so great job of masking here. That's because the crown itself, when I put a box around Jen's face like this, it actually filled in not just the crown, but it filled in her eyes with different eyes. I had to mask out so that it didn't cover her eyes with fake eyes. And then over here, the crown had also changed her hair shape, and I didn't really want to change her head shape, so I probably could have done a little bit of stretching or something like that, but I thought it looked funny, ridiculous, just kind of as it was. And the whole point of this picture is to be funny. I love that I can just print these things. It's just ridiculous. So this is 24 by 24, so this probably costs $1.20 in paper and maybe $2 in ink, is my guess, in non without changing the actual cost of ink due to waste. Let's see how this looks this direction. That's nice and fun. I love this printer.